Alright, before I jump into the topic that I wanted to discuss in my second video, I wanted to say thank you to everybody who watched, posted feedback, and enjoyed my first video. I really didn't expect that much positive feedback, especially since I made fun of Flair. I thought y'all were going to come down on me like hellfire, but yeah, I'm glad most of you liked the vid. I'm glad a lot of you want more out of me, so I will try to do more videos in the future. I can't promise I'll do a lot of them. At most, I'll do one a week, just because that's pretty much all my schedule allows. And I am really technologically unsavvy. Posting the first video was hell because of all the audio problems I had. But I especially wanted to say thank you to True Slayer, who was kind enough to post this video up on his channel, and I'm sure that's what attracted a lot of you to it, and that's, he's the main reason I got as many views as I did. So, True Slayer, I don't always agree with him on everything, and I'm sure in future videos he's going to have a lot to disagree with me about, but you know what, that's what he talked about in his last vid. It's not about agreeing with everybody, it's about just coming on here, talking wrestling, and having fun. So, thanks to everybody, and I hope you enjoy my second video and all videos I have in the future. It is indeed 2010, and thank God for that, because with that set of champions, I was starting to think we had time warp back to 97, 98, which, if we actually did, that would mean I would have to relive puberty, which is not something I'm overly interested in doing. I don't think my voice ever escaped puberty, but nothing I can do about that. So, yeah. This sucks. This is terrible. I didn't think it could get any worse than the band winning the TNA tag titles, which, Outsiders, Hall and Nash, you guys were cool. You were the shit in 96, 97. But that was 96, 97. You're not those guys anymore, and you having belts at this point is just pointless. Especially when TNA has teams like Motor City Machine Guns, Beer Money Inc., who is my favorite tag team in wrestling today. I love Beer Money. Generation Me, Young Bucks. Even Inc. Inc. I will take Inc. Inc. Shannon Moore and Jesse Neal, I will take over Hall and Nash at this point, because they're at least young talents that might be good. I don't know. They're not going to get good working with Team 3D, because Team 3D bores me. But, yeah, moving on. Bret Hart winning the U.S. title. I don't care if it was a feel-good moment in Canada. I don't care if, they wanted to give Bret that feel-good moment as a send-off. Which, how many feel-good moments is he going to get? Seriously. It was pointless. It was just absolutely pointless. You sacrificed Miz, which I'll get to Miz in a minute, but you sacrificed Miz. You stopped his momentum. And you put the belt on a guy who can't lose it because he can't have matches. So, yeah, he had to basically just forfeit the title because he can't have matches, which is pointless. Bret's a stroke victim and shouldn't be medically cleared to wrestle. I'm not saying that to be mean. He should not be wrestling for the sake of his own health. And I think WrestleMania was an indicator of that. I think SummerSlam, he's not going to do much. So what's the point of having him there? And him winning a belt is just pointless. There's absolutely no point to it. And, again, Bret Hart... Bret Hart, I had to have this DVD when it came out because I'm a huge Bret Hart fan. He's my favorite wrestler of all time. His work in the 90s, I have never enjoyed a wrestler as much as I did Bret Hart. And that's just my personal opinion. But the Hitman... that guy's gone. That guy doesn't exist anymore. And he shouldn't be winning belts. Shouldn't even be wrestling. And that, moving right along to Kane. Kane, 1998, The Mask, the Monster, him beating the hell out of everybody, the red lighting and everything, was awesome. Kane was awesome. His match with Undertaker at WrestleMania 14 is one of my personal favorites of all time. I would even go to say it's my favorite Undertaker match, which says a lot. I know nobody will agree with me, especially with, his matches with Shawn and all that stuff, but I love that match, and I love that old school Kane character. He was like wrestling's equivalent to Jason Voorhees. He was amazing. He was a believable, unstoppable monster, and it was a character that I could sink my teeth into, but he hasn't been that character in a long time. They took the mask off, which they never should have done, but even before that, the character lost its steam. He hasn't been interesting in a long time. And I just think it's sad that WWE waits until Kane has absolutely nothing left to offer, and then they put a world title on him. He's not even like that good in the ring anymore. He's not the physical specimen that he used to be. He's just a floundering big guy. He looks like Uncle Fester, and he looks ridiculous. And there's just no purpose to him having a belt. And I hate this angle with Undertaker. You know, Undertaker's in a vegetative state, which we all know Kane did it. And this is going to lead to a title match between the two. They've had 900 matches in the past, so I don't care. Again, here we are again, trying to relive the 90s. I talked about it in the last video, and it just seems like we're stuck in this endless cycle of rehashing the 90s over and over and over and over again. And keep in mind, I have no problem with old people winning belts if there's an interesting storyline purpose to it. Or two, they can still go in the ring. Jerry Lynn winning the ROH title, no problem with that. No problem with that at all. That guy doesn't age, and he's still awesome. So, absolutely, no problem. Sting winning it for the Main Event Mafia in 2008, maybe not the best option, but I felt like the TNA title needed to be in the enemy camp, so the young guys have something to fight for. Where TNA made their mistake is that they had Foley beat him, which... whatever. Yeah, this is something that needs to stop. This is something that absolutely needs to stop. Putting belts on old guys just for the sake of a nostalgia run, or trying to get the most out of them, or even as like a reward. Oh, you've been here forever, here's a reward. That's stupid. That's stupid, because it doesn't service the storyline. You don't see that in, you know, real sports. Brett Favre isn't going to get a Super Bowl ring just because he, quote-unquote, he's been there forever and he deserves it. And in acting, because, you know, wrestling's the best of both worlds, sports and entertainment. You know, in acting, somebody's not going to get an Oscar because they've been an actor for 40 years and, you know, people feel like, oh, well, they deserve it. No, they earn it through a strong performance. And it's just ridiculous. And I said I was going to talk about The Miz. One thing that came out of the Money in the Bank pay-per-view I'm very happy about, Miz won the Raw Money in the Bank. And he's somebody that I'm very high on. I'm glad that WWE made this decision. And I think if they run with him, Raw's got a little bit better future because of it. Because I think Miz is a great character, great personality, and he's somebody that deserves a push. SmackDown, on the other hand, you know, people can say what they want about Raw or Impact. SmackDown sucks. SmackDown is the worst. And the show has no direction. It's boring as hell. And it's just, whenever I try to watch it, it's just a chore. It's just an absolute chore to watch. It is so horrifically boring. I'm not even sure how to describe it. And it's sad because a year ago, SmackDown was awesome, but, you know, they had a bit of a youth movement going on over there with Punk, Morrison, Ziggler, and guys like that. But, you know, Taker wins the belt, and Punk gets screwed. Whole domino effect. The whole youth movement just went to crap, and, well, the brand has suffered ever since. And what you see on Friday nights now is the result of bad decisions like that. And Kane is world champion. That's only going to make it worse. And I feel like I'm being overly negative in my videos. My first vid, I was really negative too. So hopefully in future vids, I find something good to talk about. Because there are good things to talk about in both WWE and TNA. So hopefully I can touch up on that in the future. But right now, I'm just going to whine, moan, and complain. Because that's what I'm good at. So later, everybody.